In India, we have studied independently structure, relief, climate, soil, drainage, and vegetation. Interaction of these is called ecology. In ecology, we study all the relations among these and interaction among these. In India, there are a number of ecological regions. For example, broadly if we divide India, Himalayan ecological region, number 1. Number 2, desert ecological region. Number 3, Satluj, Ganga and Brahmaputra ecological region. Number 4, Plateau ecological region. Number 5, West Coast Plain ecological region. And number 6, East Coast Plain ecological region. In these ecological regions, there are sub-ecological regions on which there may be different questions, and the main heading of this topic will be especially soil, vegetation and mine engineered agriculture or crops. And this topic is important from these viewpoints. Herein our emphasis will be soil, natural vegetation and mine engineered vegetation. But UPSC may expect the answer of these points from you. The question may be, natural vegetation is being replaced by the mine engineered vegetation in India. Where and which type of vegetation? For example, in Himalayan region, which natural vegetation is being replaced by the mine engineered vegetation or crops? For this, you should be ready in any place of India. Second question may be better and proper use of soil. There may be question from you that in the Himalayan region or in the northern plain or plateau region, which is the better use of the soil? Which is the better use of the soil? And third very important point may be agroclimatic regions or divisions of India are planning. There are about 15 agroclimatic regions in India, which has been divided by ICAR and IMD. Therein, you are expected to answer any one planning region and suggest important crop according to crop weather chart. And next point is changing land and soil use in India. Today, India is a developing country in all fields, especially in agriculture also, and soil management and conservation is on priority. That's why you are expected to give response of these 2 points, means soil development and agricultural development from any part of India. Next point is recent trends in Indian agriculture. After independence in India, there were several agricultural policies and plans, and according to that, the scenario of agricultural landscape has changed. That's why you are expected to throw light on any part or region of India, especially regarding the agricultural landscape. Although we have independently studied the soil regions of India, forest regions of India, climatic regions of India and crop regions of India. But here this map is the composite study of superimposition of these, because during recent years UPSC has a trend that the questions are from different chapters, not from only one chapter. It means you are expected to answer with integrated approach. That's why this detail is presented before you, and this may be entitled as Pedo, Agro, Climo, Forest, Subdivisions of India, or it may also be called Ecological Subdivisions of India. As we have studied that broadly, there are 6 ecological regions which we have counted, but in Himalayan we have several sub-regions. And after its study, at last we will see that if we put one stick from this point to this point, means from Kathmandu to Bangalore. Certainly this line will divide India into two parts. Eastern part, that is wet, where there is sufficient rainfall, means here it is moist meteorologically as well as hydrologically. Meteorologically means sufficient rain by the tropical cyclone from Bay of Bengal or the monsoon wind, and hydrologically the eastern part to the east of the stick is wet, because all the rivers from India generally drain from northwest to southeast, and their lower part, especially of Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, is wet because of the deposition of sediment and sufficient water accumulating in the eastern part. The same is the case in the northeast India, where there is sufficient rainfall and a number of rivers like Brahmaputra and its tributaries cause wetland in the northeastern India. But the land to the west of this district is arid and semi-arid and dry. Thus, while discussing these ecological regions, you will take this stick here and divide Himalayas in two parts. Western part to the west of this stick, which is drier, and the eastern part to its east, which is wet. Likewise, the northern Great Plain has been divided in two parts, one to the west of this stick, that is drier, and the other to the east of this stick, nearly to the east of Allahabad and Balia, that is west. And Plateau may also be put into categories. The west generally the surrounding area of Great Water Divide to the west of this stick, and you may count two great dry zone areas, one in Rajasthan, the other to the east of the West Ghat mountain, that is also dry. But to the east of this line, the plateau land is nearly wet. Thus, this is very important line dividing India in two ecological zones, the western one arid and semi-arid, the eastern one wet and humid. And this you will keep in mind, but let us start the study of the Himalayas, and then sequentially we will study all the ecological or geographical or physical divisions of India. Let us start from the Himalayas, and in Himalayas first we should study the Greater Himalayas. Greater Himalayas is covered with ice, and there is no vegetation, and there may be no agricultural landscape, because throughout year it is ice covered. Due to shifting of the ice line, only soft grass grow, on which depend the transhumans. To the south of this Greater Himalayas, which is snow-capped, it is the southern slope of the Greater Himalayas, where soil is coarse brown color and it is morainic, and here coniferous forests are found there, but there is no agricultural production or landscape because of very low temperature and coarse and rough and unfertile soil. To the south of the Greater Himalayan slope, it is valley found between the Greater and Middle Himalayas like Kashmir and other valleys, and their soil is alluvial, brought down from the Greater Himalayas by the glacial process and from the Middle Himalayas by the fluvial process. And there also coniferous forests are found, but in place of coniferous forest, people there have replaced that forest with the fruits production, and the wheat production. To the south of the valley, it is Middle Himalayan range, and in Middle Himalayan range, soil is of grey color, brown color, it is hilly and shallow, and here mixed forests are found, some species from Greater Himalayan coniferous and some species from the south Shivalik. To the south of Middle Himalayas, in dunes, there is horticulture, in the west and in the east tea gardens and especially pineapple forest. It means from the Middle Himalayas we have divided Himalaya in two parts, Western Middle Himalayas and Eastern Middle Himalayas, as we have discussed here, two ecological regions. Question may rise, why not the Greater Himalayas divided in Western and Eastern? The answer may be that the Greater Himalayas have snow-capped peak and there is nearly uniform climatic condition. In Middle Himalayas, the climatic condition in west and east vary. That's why the production, agricultural production changes. And in dune, it is alluvial soil, forest is of deciduous nature, vegetation is of deciduous nature, and rice is produced there. Now come to the Shivalik range, the southernmost range of the Himalayas. Their soil is hilly, it is of grey and brown color, forest is deciduous, and here the plantation crops and terrace farming is practiced on the Shivalik because their rainfall is sufficient. Being in the south, Arabian and Bay of Bengal both monsoon collide first with the Shivalik, hence there is sufficient rain. To the south of Shivalik, it is Tarai region where soil is clay, coarse, sandy, pebble and cobble are found, and there semi-evergreen forests, especially of deciduous nature, are found, and where it is clay deposition, rice and sugarcane in the Tarai region are produced largely. Now after Tarai, it is the northern plain of India, which has been divided in several ecological regions like Punjab or Satluj plain, then this Gangetic plain wherein Upper Ganga, Middle Ganga and Lower Ganga plains are there, and in the same continuation it is here the Brahmaputra Assam plain. Plain has the uniform ecology, but even then, as we have divided India in two parts with the help of this stick, the western means this Punjab or Satluj and the Upper Ganga plain have nearly the same nature, same ecological condition, contrary to its middle, lower and Brahmaputra plain have nearly the same ecological conditions. In the Punjab and Upper Gangetic plain, the soil is of sandy structure because of proximity with the Thar desert, and in this sandy soil there is deciduous forest, but it has been today replaced by the man-engineered agriculture, that is wheat, cotton and especially in Punjab, rice. But if we see the Middle Ganga plain and the Lower Ganga plain, here soil is of loam nature. If there is no agriculture practiced by man, then nature, ecology will allow here deciduous vegetation and forest, but the dense population has replaced it from the wheat production, sugarcane and rice. Thus it is called the greenery and heartland of India. In Assam plain, the soil is clay and alluvial. Forest is semi-evergreen dense forest which has been cut and replaced by the agricultural landscape, especially rice, because here is wet conditions. Here wet conditions are found and suitable condition for rice production is found there. After Punjab, Upper Ganga plain and Middle Ganga plain, this is Lower Ganga Plain and Assam Plain, which are ecologically uniform. That's why in Lower Ganga Plain and Assam Plain, the soil is of clay nature and there is semi-evergreen forest which have been replaced, and agricultural practice is mainly rice. After going through the Great Northern Plain of India, let us come to the Rajasthan, that is desert, and here soil is of sandy nature which is dry, coarse, and it is minerally rich. But in the absence of dense forest here in Rajasthan, there is the provision of sprinkling and drip and canal irrigation, with the help of which here millets and spices and coarse grain crops are produced. To the south of it, it is run of Kutch in Gujarat state, where there is hydromorphic soil because it is waterlogged area, and here there is growth of mangrove forest. No agriculture is practiced except rice in the highland areas. To the south of this run of Kutch, it is Kathiawar. It is Kathiawar region that has hilly terrain characterized with a number of forest-laden mountains like Girnar and Setranjo peaks. Where it is in Kathiawar Peninsula, soil is black and red, and the forest is of semi-evergreen nature because here it is sufficient rainfall about 150 centimeters from Arabian branch, and in place of this forest the cotton crop and sugar cane and wheat are being produced. And now it is West Coast Plain Ecological Region, and here it is West Coast Plain Ecological Region, and here it is East Coast Plain Ecological Region, and bounded with these two, it is the Plateau Ecological Region. In West Coast Plain, the soil is of alluvial nature, but it is of coarse nature because rivers are ephemeral and soil is clay, and here there are a number of sandy beaches, and here the semi-evergreen forest is found, that is luxuriant, and the forest have been cut, and there the coconut crop and rice agriculture is being taken. In East Coast Plain, soil is of alluvial nature, but this is softer than the soil in the West Coast Plain because a number of rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri have brought down the material from the plateau land, and its color is reddish and the grains are smaller, and the forest is here the semi-evergreen because of sufficient rain during the summers and winter and retreating winter monsoon. But in the place of that forest, the farmers produce here coconut and rice crops. Thus, this is the East Coast Plain Ecological Region. Now, regarding the plateau, here the Western Plateau consists of black soil spreading in Maharashtra, southwest MP, and northwest Telangana and northern Karnataka. And this Western Plateau has black soil where forest is of deciduous nature, but that has been cut and replaced by the man-engineered vegetation or crop, that is mainly cotton, onion, different fruits, and wheat and sugar cane. Thus, this is unique type of ecological region. And this is West Ghat ecological region, which is characterized with the laterite type of coarse soil, and there semi-evergreen, especially mixed with deciduous species are found, which has been cut, and there is plantation agriculture of spices, and this is agriculturally very growing agriculturally developing area where there are new trends in the agriculture. Here it is in the central and eastern plateau region. The soil is mixed red and black. The black soil from Maharashtra drains through different rivers in the eastern plateau region, and here in this soil there is tropical deciduous forest, but that has been cut and replaced by the different crops like tobacco, wheat and rice. This is about the eastern and central ecological region. Now of this triangular plateau, we have studied two, the western plateau region, central and eastern plateau region, but is southern eastern plateau region or southeastern plateau region, which is ecologically a unique identity because it lies to the east of this line Bangalore to Allahabad, and here this plateau region has the red and yellow type of soil where due to sufficient moisture this has the tropical deciduous forest, but along the river valleys there is Galleria semi-evergreen forest which has been replaced, which is characterized with coarse grain soil, and it is replaced by a number of crops like rice, for example in Krishna Godavari basin, Mahanadi basin, and besides rice, tobacco and other coarse grain crops are produced. Thus, this plateau is characterized with three ecological regions, and this is lateritic region of Western Ghat, West Coast Plains region, East Coastal Plain region, and two here in Rajasthan, and 1, 2, 3 here in the Gangetic Plain, and several on the Himalayan region. Thus, this is the ecological and sub-ecological region of India, whereon there may be several questions by the UPSC like these, and these are the latest trends of the study of Indian geography, especially with ecological perspective.